transform our entire community. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to build monuments in my name. I don't want folk to walk around talking about, oh, Doc, he can preach. I want to hear, oh, look what kind of impact he had on my life. What kind of impact did he have in this community? If folk don't know you're there, that means you ain't making much of an impact. But I've made up my mind that I'm moved by my burden. So Nehemiah tells them, he said, look, y'all, let's get up. Let's do something, because if we let things stay the way they are, we all will be a reproach. What does it mean to be a reproach? It means folk look down on you. It means you have nothing to contribute to the betterment of society. Nehemiah said, if we all don't get together, we're all going to suffer the same thing that we've been stuck in for oh so long. But what I love about the people in Jerusalem is, even though Nehemiah is the one with the burden, the folk hear his sharing of the burden, and they respond, let us rise up and build. Oh, Lord, help me to close. What do you mean, let us rise up and build? The text says that they realize that all of us have a responsibility to work for the betterment of this community. And because we all have a responsibility, we all got to do something to bring this thing to a better place. It's not enough to sit back. Nehemiah could have stayed back in Persia and said, I have a good place. Nehemiah could have said, I'll send an offering down there to Jerusalem. But Nehemiah said, I'm going to forsake where I am, and I'm going down to where the problem is. And he brought his burden, caused folk to see things a brand new way. Nehemiah had a burden, and he rallied support around the burden. And rest assured, God has somebody ready to be moved by the same issue that you're burdened by. Others may be burdened by the same issue, but they're waiting for you to step up and be the one to bring rally around the support. So Nehemiah said, I will be the one, and I'll make up in my mind that I'm moved by my burden. And when Nehemiah, he responded to his burden. Nehemiah turned despair into hope. Lord, help me to close. He turned negative feelings into positive reality. I stopped by here to encourage somebody that Durham is a good place to be, and North Carolina is a good place to be, but God has called us to make a difference. We've got to make up in our minds that somebody needs us, and we got to do something about it. I got a burden, and I got to make a difference. I got a burden that we can't let kids keep going to jail. I got a burden that when they come out of jail, they got to have somebody to embrace them. Y'all ain't talking to me. I believe that not everybody has to be falling by the wayside, but I have a burden that we can make a difference. Nehemiah Christian Center, I want you to know something here. Many of us were not in Durham when this building was the unemployment office, but lo and behold, I've always declared it was God's divine plan that when the unemployment office moved outside of the town and this building was left empty, that he let us procure the building, that the place folk used to go to try to find a job, to cash in their benefits. He said, I'm going to raise up a church. I'm going to send folk from other cities who don't know the history of the building, but they're going to have a burden that the same building that brought hope back in the day can bring hope all over again. I just got to know, do I have anybody that's got a burden? Touch somebody on the shoulder and tell them, neighbor, tell them I need a burden. Tell them I need a burden. I want to make a difference. I want to touch somebody's life. I want to see young boys grow up straight and righteous men of God. I want to see young girls grow up holy, chaste and sanctified, and save themselves to their wedding night. I can't find nobody. I want to see somebody that used to be homeless find a new place to live because we made a difference. I want to see somebody that didn't have skills get some brand new skills and find a new job. I want to see somebody be like William Fields and come addicted to drugs but die with God in his heart. I want to see somebody. I have a burden, a burden, a burden. I got to make a difference. I got to see things change. I can't sleep at night. I'm burdened. Lord, tell somebody I got a burden. I got a burden. But tell them do something about it. Lord have mercy. We spend all of our time running around talking about it's going to be all right. I'm praying about it. You lying, you ain't praying about it. Because if you were praying about it, you'd be doing something about it. Because the God I serve, what I pray about, he make me be about. Okay, I serve a different God. The God, what I say I'm going to pray about, God always makes me be about doing something in that area. So if you serve the same God and you can't be praying about it and you ain't being about it, I question if you praying.
That's right. That's right. My God. My God. Help us.
And here is the reality. The burden I have is not a burden just to do stuff to get folk to come to the church. Lord, I can't get no help. This is not a burden just to pack the pews. This is a burden to make a difference. Because it makes no difference if a whole bunch of folk and you're not making an impact. If we're burdened, everybody stand. I'm gonna quit. If we're burdened by folk that are starving without suitable food, then why can't we volunteer an hour on Tuesdays for Nehemiah's Kitchen? Or why can't we get some more folk to sign up for the dinner for next Tuesday? I'm moved by seeing folk homeless. Well, how are you helping in homelessness? What inspection have you done? What research have you done? The problem is we keep saying it's beyond us. It's the government's job. It's the church's job. It's the people of God's job to make an impact. See, it used to be. Some of y'all know this because some of y'all was raised by your grandparents. It used to be. In the black community, we didn't need foster care. Y'all not talking to me. Why? You need no foster care. Because the auntie or grandmama, she might have 6 kids that ain't even hers. She take one more. Come on. Why? We not separating my family. We going to bring them together. It's time for us to make a difference. Oh yeah, we shout. We say God touches us. But God doesn't just touch you. just for you to say, oh, I felt good in church. God touches us so that we can be empowered to make a difference. Heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Father, we come to you now. We are your people.